welcome back to my channel. I have a new December Daily 2022 layout to share with you. It is a single page layout this time, once again designed in Cricut Design Space and then created with my Cricut. This one has a mixture of traditional die cutting and some coloring as well. I'm starting by matting these two pieces of cardstock together, pink and green. I just used my ATG to attach them together, and then it is going to go onto this white base. In Cricut Design Space, I added a bracket, like parentheses, to the one side of the layout to give it a distinct look. I will be adding a very large bracket to that side of the layout later on in the video, but right now I am just working on putting together basically the main part of the layout. So I'm going to start by adding two pictures to the right hand side of that green mat. They're pictures of both my girls. Just recently they had their Christmas concert at school. It's the first time we have had a Christmas concert in 3 years. Because of the pandemic and things like that, it hasn't happened in the last several years. And this is the first year since my girls were in grade 3, they're in grade 7 now, that I have been able to go to any kind of an event like that. And it made my heart so happy. I knew that I had to include this story in my December Daily this year. So that's what I'm doing. Next to the photo of my one daughter, I'm adding a 3x4 inch journal card. Both my photos are 3x4 inches as well. I printed them both at home with my own printer. I use an Epson, I think it's a 2750. The one that I use is discontinued. The new one now is an Epson, I think it's a 2850 they call it. I will link it in the description box down below so you can go check it out. And I used Epson photo paper as well to print my photos. I used my Cricut to add journaling to this layout as well. I used the draw function and chose a font that I liked. I'm trying to choose fonts in Cricut Design Space that are Christmas themed or holiday themed at least. There's a lot of cute ones there. So choosing something to create with is not hard. The smaller the font though, the simpler you want it to be. I find that when you are using it to write your journaling, you want something that has fairly simple lines and is not like an outline. And that reads well when it is small. I've made some layouts that it's kind of hard to discern, so just something to keep in mind. There is the giant bracket that I said that I was going to add to the right-hand side of the layout. It is a combination draw and cut file in Cricut Design Space, so there are some lines in there that the Cricut has drawn, but it comes in two pieces. I glued it together and then glued it to the layout base. Now I'm working on embellishing. I cut this star from yellow cardstock that I had in my stash. It is going at the top portion of the bracket. I'm also going to add some sparkle to it as well. So I'm gonna pull out my clear shimmer brush and then add shimmer directly to the cardstock. You do not need to use a shimmer brush if you don't have one. If you do, obviously it's a great way to add sparkle to your layout. You could also add things like stickles, or if you have glimmer paste or anything like that, the same principle applies, it would work. All you really want is some shine and sparkle. For me, the simplest and quickest way to add it is using a shimmer brush. So with the sparkle down on that, I'm going to add a cute little boot image that I found in Cricut Design Space. I converted it to a draw file and then colored it in. I colored it in off camera just to speed up the process a little bit, the video process that is. I did do a little bit of shading on the boot just to create some shadows kind of thing. And rather than using a black pen, I don't like the Spectrum Noir black marker. I try not to use it. Instead, I used a gray marker and colored the boot in with the gray. I left the the lining at the top white, and then of course the goodies that were stuffed inside the boot I colored in as well. I'm adding another embellishment here. It is a little bell with some leaves, like holly leaves attached to it. I used the draw function to create the base layer of this image, and then used the cut function to cut everything else. And then as you can see, I'm adding sparkle to that as well. It didn't really match up the lines, so you can see drawn lines that shouldn't be there. It's no big deal. In the end, nobody is really probably going to notice, but I did. So that is why I mentioned it. I used the Cricut to draw my title as well. I had the song, The Little Drummer Boy, in my head when I came up with the title. So I started off with Come They Told Me, and then the title goes on to say about the Christmas concert, and then my journaling. That's it for me, friends. I hope this layout inspired you. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope you're enjoying my December Daily 2022 series. Please give me a thumbs up and a like if you are enjoying it, and I'll be back again soon with more creative inspiration. Bye, friends.